Hey there, it's Erin with Time Saving Templates. And if you've been following along, we've been doing a series all about working with locations and how different locations affect salary ranges in your compensation structures. So I will link to the previous videos. So in today's video, I'm going to be diving into the HR and compensation related scenario where an employee is moving from one location to another. And this file we went over in the previous video where we have different tiers for different locations. And so different salary ranges applied based on the location. So there's actually several videos that went into the analysis of how to determine what percentage of the base tier that we used for this example. But I won't get into all of that, how we came up with all of that now. In this example, we have a specific employee and they are moving, say, from South Carolina, tier 1, to California or New York, which has a different set of salary ranges. In that example, there are different approaches you could take. So there is a cost of living versus cost of labor, two different ways to look at it. For this example, we had used cost of labor data to come up with these percentages, which are applied to the base range here. Tier 1 is taking 95% of the national range, and Tier 2 is taking 116% of that national range. I'm going to be looking at compa-ratio for this analysis. If you're not sure about the different compensation metrics like compa-ratio, you can download a free cheat sheet here. Just go to timesavingtemplates.com/free resources, and then you'll see it in the HR and compensation section. This cheat sheet will go over formulas for compa-ratio and several other metrics. Okay, so to keep this simple, the main things that we want to look at is the current base pay compared to the current midpoint, and then the new base pay compared to the new midpoint. And that those are the two numbers that we use to calculate the compa-ratio. So we're gonna put that he's at 53,000 and the current midpoint is 52,000. So to calculate that compa-ratio, it's just going to be the current employee's base pay divided by the midpoint. And that's telling us that he's at a 1.02 if we round that. A 1.0 compa-ratio is right at the midpoint, and you'll see he's just slightly above it. So the new range for the tier 2, 64. So what we are comparing here is if we were to keep him at the exact same rate, and then I'm just going to copy and paste this formula here. Since he stayed in the same grade, and pull up the ranges so we can kind of compare right next to it. He's, let's see, 52 is the grade C. He's staying within the same grade. He's just moving locations. And then 63.5. Okay, then he would be going from a 1.02 compa-ratio to a 0.83 compa-ratio, which is pretty low within the range. Even for this grade C, the minimum is 55. So at 53, he's dropping below the minimum. If you wanted to keep him close to this 1.02, we would recommend it increase to the midpoint since he's already slightly above the current midpoint. Bringing him slightly above the new midpoint should have the same effect for the ranges in the new location. So this 63,500, say if I do 64,000, that brings to 1.01. So that's, if we add a 500, then we're exactly at 1.02. And this is the compa-ratio. So this is a quick way to assess if somebody is remaining equal. It's not looking at different cost of living. It's just if you already have salary ranges based on cost of labor, then what he earns in location one over here should be equivalent to location two. If they were moving from California to South Carolina, if he was at 64,000, right above the midpoint for California, and he moves to South Carolina, well, then 64,000 is now over the max for that grade. So, as a company, you want to be consistent in how you apply these changes. Would you deduct or decrease to keep that compa-ratio the same when they move back to another location? So, say that this new base pay 64,000 and then they come and move back to the old location with the 52,000. Now their compa-ratio is 1.24, and then you would need to recommend a decrease to get that compa-ratio back. So that's the simplified version, and you can also do the same type of analysis in the salary increase template, which has more columns to fill out. Basically, for current and new position, you could put this row was the new location, and then this row was Fred current location. So that way I was looking at the stats over here, and if the new salary brought him to that 1.02 compa-ratio. So these gray columns will auto-populate after filling out the ranges and the requested salary information. So you can also use something like this template when you're doing location analysis, as well as promotions and job changes. And I'll be sure to link to this template. It's part of the base pay bundle that you can find here at Time Saving Templates. So this, the salary increase template is part of the base pay bundle, which has the annual merit increase template, salary structure for your ranges, and also the promotions and off-cycle adjustments, which was kind of like a location change. I'll link to that. And we also have the All Access Pass, which is the HR All-Star package, and that includes all of the HR templates. So don't forget about that, and I hope this helps. And until next time, don't forget that I am here to help you streamline and save time when it comes to using your Excel spreadsheets. Thanks.